And Padres pitcher Kyle Hart is with us here. Kyle, Stephen Woods, Ben Higgins, Paul Reindl, our producer. It's good to have you on the show, and welcome to, Peoria and soon San Diego, hopefully.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Picked a good morning to come out and do the show. It's supposed to cool down next week, so probably be freezing our butts off out here.
Yeah, we've been through those out here many, many times. So how good is it? How good has it been so far to be back here in big league baseball and playing with the San Diego Padres?
Yeah, it's something that you don't take for granted. You know, this game will kind of take you everywhere, but anytime that you're joining a big league camp, especially with a chance to make the team, it's a privilege, and especially a team of this caliber. I think that's kind of been the eye-opener for me, is just coming back and looking in this locker room at some of these veteran guys, some of the experience that we have, and the talent that we have on this roster. So, like I said, it's a privilege and an honor to be here and working my butt off every day to try to make this club.
So, Kyle, you made your big league debut in what year?
2020.
2020. So with the Red Sox during the pandemic season, and you got there. Obviously, that's an achievement of a lifelong dream for anybody who gets there, but didn't stick, and you made the decision a couple of years later to go to Korea. What was the thought process for you in deciding to pitch there rather than stick around in the minors and hoping to get called up again?
That's a good question. The answer, I've talked to a couple of people about this. The answer is relatively simple. Bounced around, kind of the Red Sox gave me a courtesy, finish to my career. Just let me kind of stick in AAA, and bounced around with Philly and up in Tacoma with Seattle. And then following the 2023 season, I didn't have any interest, minor league, MLB, any interest. So the only interest I had was in Korea and the KBO, and didn't really think too much about it. Just kind of checked with my family and make sure we could work out some of the logistics. And once I had their blessing, pretty easy decision for me. Great financial opportunity for guys like me who hadn't made a lot of money up to that point. I'll be very frank about that. I think a lot of guys will be. So obviously it kind of a career-altering decision, and something that like I said, I'm really proud of, and I don't think I'm going to take any opportunities for granted, moving forward.
Well, not only did you go over there, and you had to make it's a whole different culture. What's the game like? How different was the game when you got over there? I know at the end of the day, you grab the ball, you got to throw strikes, you got to get guys out. I mean, you can boil it down to my job is to get these dudes out, but it's a totally different culture, totally different country. You don't speak the language, I would assume, and had to be a little bit of a shock to the system.
It is. I think my experience is similar to a lot of guys. I'm sure if you talk to a guy like Nick Martinez or someone like that, the baseball is high level. It's very serious. I mean, it is very serious. It's very hard to strike people out at times. Yeah. I mean, you could have the best stuff in the world, and some of these guys are going to find a way to put the bat on the ball. They might not hit it very hard. And then the other thing is, I feel like my growth happened learning how to manage innings. Those guys do a really good job. If they can get their leadoff on, or if they can work a walk or an HBP or an error, they know how to build an inning up. You're pitching in some really tough environments at times, especially on the road. It can get pretty rowdy, which I think was a big part of my development too. In 2020, there wasn't a single person in the stands.
Yeah.
So
that's different.
Yeah. And yeah. I don't know if it quite compares to Petco, especially, during the playoffs. It probably can't compare, but some of those environments were really fun to pitch in, and really a big deal for me. I think that's something that is intriguing to the GMs and the front offices when you're looking at bringing pitchers back over. It's like, can they compete in those environments? And I felt good about what I did. But yeah, baseball is very serious. Extremely high level. They're doing all the training methods and everything that we're doing here in America is starting to come over there. So you're going to see, as we've seen, you're going to see more and more, Asian-born national players coming over here. They're getting extremely talented. So
we're talking to new Padres pitcher Kyle Hart. He just said it's tough to strike out guys in Korea. We're talking to the single-season KBO strikeout record holder. Struck out 182 batters, so essentially the Randy Johnson of Korea.
That's pretty good, man.
Over there, which is obviously had a great season. You won the Choi Dong-won Award. That's like their Cy Young Award. What I heard you talk about, you added a couple of pitches. What is changed? When you went over there. Now that you're here, Are you doing anything else? We think of Ruben Niebla as a bit of a kind of a miracle worker. When we see him, we like just kind of bow down because he's such a great guy and knows so much about pitching. So what's that kind of translating to here?
Yeah, I mean, Ruben is fantastic. As soon as I started talking to him, even throughout, kind of the free agent process, like I realized, this guy is going to be really good for me, as he has been for many guys. I think at this point, Ruben has really pushed for me to just kind of be myself. I think he wants to get a baseline on what I'm able to do and see a few more outings, and then we're going to probably dive into some of the red tape, so to speak. I'm kind of probably annoying him because I'm bugging him like, hey, what do you got for me? What do you want me to work on all this? And I think he's just like, dude, do your thing.
That sounds like that's a pretty good Ruben you just did, actually.
Like, do your thing. We'll get there. So, I'm just kind of falling into place. Obviously, extremely talented pitching staff that we have. I'm competing with some great guys trying to make this club, and I'm looking forward to what Ruben and Peter and Chris and Fritzy, a lot of these guys have for me going forward. It's like I'm just craving all the knowledge that they have. It's a fine line of doing what you did, doing what you do that got you here, but also trying to develop and improve every day.
No question. And, you're talking about some of the other guys on staff. You've got Darvish, who's got 11 pitches, probably the ability to throw 14 or so. You got Michael King, who is just one of the nastiest. When things are firing for Michael King, he's top 3 in baseball, maybe even top 1 in baseball when it's all working for him. You've got Joe Musgrove there as a guy that you can lean on as well. You got really good players. Have you been able to glean any knowledge from those guys?
Well, yeah,
you're the only lefty though. That's the other thing. Is like there's very few lefties in there to talk to.
Well, I'm gonna add Dylan Cease into that.
Of course, yeah. Dylan Cease pretty good.
He's decent. So I actually went back and watched Dylan Cease's no-hitter last night. Just 7th inning. Let me just finish this guy with 100 down and away. I didn't realize the plays that Xander made in that game. Those were awesome.
Incredible.
The tipped ball.
Jackson.
Jackson.
My God.
I did not see that before. So to answer your question, I think I've said this before, like Schulte, Ruben, they're going to take the best pitchers that can help the Padres win games. So if it's 13 righties, obviously there's going to be some lefties out of that bullpen, but he's going to take the best guys. So I don't think, just being left-handed is going to grant me extra leeway. I'm going to have to pitch really well in the next month. That's my goal. Obviously, just watching, Stephen Kolek yesterday, he looked outstanding. Randy was in charge of all his stuff. Love watching Johnny Brito. Love watching Matt Waldron, obviously. So, it's not going to be handed to me. There's some guys that have had some success and look really good right now. So, but yeah, Darvish, I would argue he throws 12 pitches, but I pretty much watch everything that guy does.
Sure.
Are you a natural lefty, or are you one of those guys who was kind of could have gone either way and coached into being a lefty?
I'm not a natural lefty. No. I eat and write.
You're holding your mic with the right hand.
Yeah,
so I was wondering.
Exactly. So I'm a mixed bag.
That's interesting. I read a quote from you. You were talking about your debut, your first year, and you basically said it can't end like this for me. If that's the case, I'm just going to dig an effing hole and crawl into it. And I said, that's my guy. That's my guy right now. I saw some video of you chirping in the KBO, and I said, I love this guy, and I really hope you make the squad and come out and help us dominate next year. Because it's been so far so good. So what's the plan for you moving forward, getting some starts and getting some innings? What's the plan?
Yeah, I threw a sim game yesterday, kind of kicked the rust off. I was spraying the ball a little bit, but everything was kind of where I expected to be from the pitching standpoint. I think Ruben has me throwing at least one more sim game on Sunday, and then I'm hoping next week to get into a game. Yeah. So it's that time. It's that time.
The sim game is a little bit different. Crony was talking about being on the backfields, taking firm, hard BP, but he said it's different. Once you're out there in game situation, throwing to real hitters with different uniforms on.
Yeah, I think there's probably that extra 5, maybe 10% of competitive juices, so to speak, that we get when we start seeing other guys. And the veterans will probably tell you that it can't even happen for them until March 27th comes. But yeah, 11 a.m. backfield games can be difficult, but at the same time, the work, the preparation, it's so critical for us moving forward this year, especially as pitchers. Like, we have to take every chance, every opportunity we get on that mound as serious as we can, because, there's only so many days to work. We can't show up in the cage at 7 a.m. and take 500 swings, So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out there, getting into a game, and letting the real work kind of begin.
Crony said he faced you guys. You were at Indiana. He was at Michigan. He didn't really remember the matchup, but he said you guys were really good, and they weren't. So
it's Schwarber on your squad. My God.
Yeah, we were more of an offensive team. Like, our pitching staff, our mantra was like, just let's give up like anything less than 7 runs. And we got a chance.
How good was Schwarber in college with a metal bat?
There's a couple quick things. He was amazing. But he was a great catcher. Could call an unbelievable game. I'm sure he could still call a great game. He was really fast. Wow. Nobody understands that. He blew out his knee at the Diamondbacks. I don't remember what year. He blew out everything in his knee, but he was like a 6'8" runner. Led the conference in triples one year. Like, he was fast.
Jeez, dude.
How come he didn't play football?
No, he did. He did. Yeah, he did.
Well, he had offers all over the place.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
God bless.
Well, man. Kyle, it is a pleasure to meet you again. Welcome to the Padres. Thanks for sitting down with us for a few minutes, and we'll be watching you closely the rest of spring training. Not in a creepy way.
No,
kind of in a creepy way.
Well, maybe a little bit.
I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kyle Hart, new Padres pitcher, and again, going to be on the backfields in the next couple of days, and we'll probably see him in a Cactus League game coming up pretty soon.